Hi, I'm Robert Ewell, and this is the 10th in my series on being a good steward of God's world, based on Genesis 1:26 assignment, where God gave mankind responsibility for the world and its environment. Today, we're going to talk about what to focus on when you're looking to save energy and reduce your environmental footprint. And yes, it's not the lights. But before we do that, I'd like to give you a case study that I promised you last week. So, last week, we talked about the greatest savings you can do for sustainability and the environment is helping others. Because what you do for others can be leveraged time and time again and will be much greater than you can do just for yourself. So that small change can make a big difference. So the example I'm giving you is that my company made a small part that went into your cell phone. And the customer came to us and worked with us on a new, more advanced design of that part to do something that was very important to them. They wanted us to help them save energy being consumed by the phone. And our technology enabled them to save, on average, about 1.5 watts of energy consumption by that phone. Doesn't sound like much. That's about maybe a fourth of a standard LED light bulb. However, my company that I worked for was a high volume manufacturer, and they sold over 1 billion of those parts. That's more than a gigawatt year of energy saved every year. And you can take the average carbon footprint of the world and determine what's the footprint that we're helping people save by not consuming that little bit of electricity on their phone. It turns out that that carbon footprint reduction was more than 60 times greater than the company's total carbon footprint output. So while many companies are trying to become net zero, where they offset their own carbon footprint production, we, just one of our products alone, was saving the world more than 60 times our carbon footprint. That's leverage. That's the benefit of helping others. We were making a bigger impact on the environment by our products than we were by our internal energy savings program. And we had other products that also helped customers save energy, as I alluded to the types of projects in the last week's presentation. And so this was just an example. It was one of the reasons the company was recognized as a sustainability leader. And why did the cell phone company want us to do that? That's what I said. They wanted to extend the battery life on their phone because us, the consumers, we don't like phone anxiety where our phone is dying when we desperately need to make one more phone call or take one more picture. And so battery life is important to us. There's only so much you can do to make more high-powered batteries and cram it into a phone form factor. And so you got to work both sides of the problem. And the other one is let's have a phone that uses parts that use less energy. So I hope you would have enjoyed that real world example of how we were able to make such a significant impact on the world footprint by a product as opposed to our own consumption. As I said, it's not the lights. When you start doing energy savings, you find out that's what people want to focus on. They want to focus on, well, what can we do about the lights? Hey, the lights were on last night. I'd get helpful phone calls like that. You thank them politely for the insight, and I'll see what I can do about that. But I also knew how energy was consumed in a building, in both factories and commercial office buildings. And it's the motors. You can close your ears and listen. And all the things you hear humming in that building, those are motors, and they're consuming a lot more energy than the lights are. After that, it's things which get hot, ovens, and then lights. And so if you really want to move the needle on saving energy, you want to start with the motors. And we do that in our homes. So, for example, where are the motors in your home? Well, it's the fan. The biggest motor in most homes is, in fact, if it's forced air heating, it's that big blower that's pushing air through your house. It's your refrigerator. It uses a lot of energy because it's on all the time. It's a 24/7 operation, so an energy efficient refrigerator is a great idea. Dishwashers, washers, dryers, we use those intermittently. Pumps, like a pool pump or jacuzzi pump. Um, if it's you hear it spinning, it's a motor. You could probably even just listen in your room right now, and there's a good chance you can hear the fan of your computer running. It's a commode. It's got a motor cooling it because it's got something which is hot. The central processing unit puts out a lot of waste heat, and that needs to be removed. So things are hot is the next biggest consumer. It's your microwave. It's ovens, stoves, dryers, heaters, electric hot water heaters, whatever you might have that's getting hot in your house or your office building or your factory. Those are the second biggest thing you can go after. And the third thing that we would look at, and I do look at them and we worked on them, is lights. It was important because people wanted to know we were doing something. And if you did the lights, they knew that you were doing something in their building. So that's the focus. And next week, I'll give you a case study and show you how you can save a lot of energy. Examples of factory, but it would apply to your house just as well. So look forward to seeing you next week. And until then, be a good steward.